We replace typewriters with computers. We replace computers with smartphones. We even added AI. So why didn't we replace this? QWERTY. To understand that, we have to go back to 1866. Christopher Latham Scholes was working on a machine that could automatically number things like tickets and coupons. Then his fellow inventor Carlos Glidden asked, "Why can't you make a machine that prints letters too?" And that simple question set them on the path toward the typewriter. And here's the first surprise. If you could travel back to their first prototype and look at its keyboard, you probably wouldn't recognize it. It was much closer to an alphabetical arrangement. And something even stranger, the letter I was also used as the number 1. So the keyboard you're looking at today wasn't even their original idea. So something changed. Scholes and his team kept experimenting, going through roughly 30 test models. And eventually, QWERTY appeared. But here's where the story gets interesting. We don't have one universally accepted answer for why the letters ended up exactly where they are. One popular explanation goes back to the machine itself. Early typewriters had metal arms underneath the keys. Press a key, and the arm would swing up and strike the paper. Press certain keys quickly, one after another. And those arms could get in each other's way and jam. So one theory is that the keyboard was rearranged to make these collisions less likely. But there's another theory. Telegraph operators were using Morse code, short and long signals called dots and dashes, to receive messages. For example, A equals dot dash S equals 3 dots, or equals 3 dashes. Some researchers believe the needs of these operators may also have influenced the evolving keyboard layout. So which explanation is correct? Mechanical type bars, telegraph operators, or perhaps a combination of factors? The exact origin of QWERTY is still debated. Then, in 1874, QWERTY got its big break. E. Remington and Sons began selling the machine as the Remington No. 1. And here's a detail that looks almost unbelievable today. The typewriter looked surprisingly similar to a sewing machine. Why? Because Remington was already manufacturing sewing machines. The Remington No. 1 became the first commercially successful typewriter, and now something much more powerful than the machine itself started working in QWERTY's favor. People learned it. Typists trained on it. Businesses bought QWERTY machines. More manufacturers produced them. And suddenly, changing the keyboard wasn't just a matter of changing a machine. You would have to change people. Then came computers. And computers didn't have type bars. There were no metal arms flying toward paper, no type bars to collide. Technically, this would have been the perfect moment to redesign the keyboard, but we didn't. Because by then, QWERTY wasn't just a machine design. It was something people already knew. Then the keyboard moved into smaller devices. A desktop had plenty of space. A laptop didn't. Designers had to fit the keyboard, trackpad, speakers, battery, and everything else into one thin machine. So, keys were combined, resized, or removed. Then came devices like BlackBerry, which put tiny physical QWERTY keys into your pocket and let people type with their thumbs. But smartphones went even further. They got rid of the physical keys completely. Your phone doesn't have tiny mechanical QW and E keys underneath the screen. What you're seeing is software. A keyboard drawn on glass. The layout stayed familiar, but the keyboard itself became digital. And now there's another problem. The keys are tiny. So how can you type accurately? The answer isn't just better fingers, it's smarter software. Your keyboard predicts what you're trying to say, corrects mistakes, suggests words, and can even let you swipe across letters. The keyboard didn't simply get smaller, the software got smarter. And here's the interesting part. People have actually designed alternatives. Dvorak tried to create a more efficient keyboard layout. KALQ was designed specifically for two-thumb typing on touchscreens, but neither replaced QWERTY. Because once a system becomes deeply embedded, changing it becomes incredibly difficult. It's not just a keyboard anymore. It's typing lessons, jobs, software, hardware, and muscle memory. The question isn't simply, is the new layout better? It's, Is it better enough to make everyone learn again? And now we're entering another strange stage. The keyboard isn't just becoming smaller or smarter, it's becoming more helpful. AI can help correct what you write, rewrite it, change its tone, shorten it, translate it, and sometimes even generate the text for you. So after 150 years, maybe the biggest change isn't where the letters are. It's what the keyboard can do with those letters. So why are we still using a keyboard that began with a 19th century typewriter? Because technology changed faster than human habits. The machine changed, the computer changed, the phone changed, the keyboard even lost its physical keys. And now AI is changing what happens when we type. But the letters stayed familiar. Maybe the future of the keyboard isn't about changing where the letters are. Maybe it's about changing what happens when you press them. And remember, you know it. But do you know why? This is Simply Curious. Subscribe, and let's discover the why behind the things we see every day.